Thanks for staying with us. So, Doyinsola is a content creator, filmmaker, and social media strategist who has experience in brand management and content creation and has worked in digital communications and managed social media for various companies. She holds a postgraduate degree in film production and Sheridan in Canada, from Sheridan in Canada. Welcome with us, Doyinsola Wale Bamore. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So we're still celebrating young people, Children's Day and all that. We just felt it was important for you to bring you on to tell us about your career, what you've done so far. And I know you worked on a project, Shades of Lagos, which is pretty interesting. Tell us about it, and then tell us what your work is and what you hope to do in future.
Yeah, so I'll still go with that tagline, being a child, because I feel like I'm still a child at heart. No one wants to like grow up and be an adult. But yeah, so I'm a filmmaker, and I recently completed a documentary called Shades of Lagos, and it's basically like telling Lagos from the point of view of the people that live here, because every single time you watch a documentary about Nigeria or Lagos, to be precise, and it's another person telling our own stories, showing like things that are real, but like it's not completely true to Lagos. So I got in contact with like 10 characters, and we explored like their story growing up in Lagos. And in as much as they all came from like different backgrounds of Lagos, they still had that connecting story. So you could come from like a very affluent family or like a not so like stable family, but you can still relate to like the struggles of Lagos and like the hustle and the bustle of like the city.
The clip I watched of that video was almost portraying Lagos in this bad city that you have to, you know, and and you're thinking that yes, there's a hustle part and there's also the life, the fun, the great part of it. I didn't get that sense. Was that a mix of me? I just missed it.
I feel like it was closer to the end because I wanted to show the typical what you expect. Okay, you see like the slum areas of Lagos, but watch a few clips after and you see like people turning up in like the clubs, and like you see the really good roads that, because I haven't been back for like the past 3 years, and I have to say the roads have been good, like relatively really good, especially like the Agege road. That one was like really shocking to me. I felt like something happened. But yeah, like we kind of like showed the different sides. So we showed the bad side, we showed the good side, and we showed like the in-between also. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying like Lagos is completely like stunning or anything, but it has like the good side still that we try to like incorporate and just show people like we still have this in Lagos. It's not completely like bad.
Okay, did it also capture, because I haven't seen the documentary, but I would like to know if it captured the hustle spirit of Lagosians, the ability to wake up as early as 4 a.m. and hitting the road, even without the... It's an ability, honestly, even without the lights and everything. Did it? Because I feel that young people, especially Nigerians, have been projected in a bad light outside the country. And, you know, when you travel, once you mention you're in Nigeria, there's this suspicious look that you get from people outside the country. So is this a deliberate attempt to show that we are actually good people?
Yes, so backstory to that is the first day of school, when I went to film school, we're all asked to introduce ourselves and tell like a bit of ourselves. And I remember saying my name, and it caused like commotion. Everyone was laughing. I kind of like was expecting that. But when I got to the part of, oh, I'm from Lagos, Nigeria, everyone was looking like I said something foreign. And I was like, yeah, Lagos, Nigeria. Because every Lagosian is proud of where they're from. They know that you might not know Nigeria, but you know Lagos because you've heard about it somewhere, right? So after saying that, and I got like the vibe, it was not like, oh, you know about it type of thing. And what they even knew was like the wrong misconception of like, oh, the scammers and like the Nigerian prince type of story. So I needed like a story that when they watch it, they can look back and be like, okay, yeah, I was ignorant at first, but now I understand. Like a lot of people mention the hustle spirit in Lagos. Like Lagos is the only place, you know, you have a meeting for 9, or you have to leave home for like 4 or 5. And you also like understand when someone tells you they're in traffic, like you know that that is like a valid reason. Real. And someone mentioned that in the documentary actually, like she mentioned how like you can be late for something and just saying you're in traffic is almost like, okay, yeah, you're fine, you're good to go.
It's a bit like weather. When say the weather, you understand the weather was bad. So everybody has a peculiar. Let me come to.
I'm always happy to see people take ownership and, you know, sort of try to like create the narrative, you know. But one of the things that I share, and I know Mariah is passionate about, is how we tell our stories. That we don't tell a story of our past reality, but we try to create the future for the younger generation. more importantly, when I watch interviews of Elon Musk and what's his name, Jeff Bezos, and both of them have their entire life mapped out based on what they watched in a movie about life on Mars, and they're actively working towards creating. And it's just because they watched a movie that told them that story is possible. You're a content creator. How are you? What's the story you want to tell? What's the image you want to portray? What's the message you want to leave that would spiral that information down to other people?
Thank you for that really good question. But I actually say this a lot, and I feel like the only type of story you can tell is a story that you've experienced for yourself. So in as much as I am currently in Nigeria in diaspora, I am very passionate about telling Afro-centric stories. So stories that relate to like a typical African, not necessarily only Nigerian, but a typical African. And I remember growing up, like I'd never been to New York until like last year or so. But you can't tell me like there's a street in New York that I don't know, because I just watched films, and from like the different TV shows, I could relate almost being like an American myself. So I want to kind of do the same for Africa and Nigeria. I want you to like watch our content and be like, oh yeah, so I know this place, I know Abuja, I know Kaduna, like the most random places, because we watch films and we see like their own content, and we already know all these things just from watching it. So I feel like that also would also increase like tourism and also our own recognition in somewhat ways, because Nigeria is very talented, I must say.
Nima.
I am, how do I like to, I love Lagos. I was born here, I grew up here.
Yeah.
I know Lagos the way I used to boast to my friends that are Lagosians that don't know your state. But there's this thing that I miss about my own state, you know, where I'm from, that I don't know that place as much as I know a Lagos state.
Yeah.
I want to pick from your brain. Let me see what you have as a background, because I just don't know Lagos. I know a bit of history of Lagos. I would sit with a Lagos book and I would fall in love with reading the history because I live here.
Yes.
Do you have that sort of experience where you go into a place and you can immediately relate? Or my husband most times will be saying, hey, I have an address somewhere, so I say, okay, the fastest way here is here. You can break in through.
Like,
and
you
know,
know,
are you a conductor? You know, do you have that feeling, you know, when you talk about Lagos? And let me get a feel of an area.
Like, you know, why are you interrogating her?
No,
I just want to know, because,
test.
you know, when you make movies and you're passionate, sometimes it shows in the richness of what you do.
Yeah.
Let me know that area that you know, that whenever they talk about it in Lagos.
Like, you know, the
So one thing I call myself on like social media is Agege Shonda Rhimes.
Okay.
So it's like, because I grew up in Agege and I love Shonda Rhimes a lot. Like, she's a filmmaker that I want to be like. So I just combine both of them and I'm like, okay, I'm Agege Shonda Rhimes. So I can beat my chest anyway and tell you that I know anywhere in Agege. I might not know the name of the street, but like I can know how to like direct you. So, but
What are your future plans for filmmaking? Because I know you're young. I mean, you have your whole career ahead of you.
Yes.
What are those things you'd like to create and we can look out for in future?
I feel like, I said that earlier on, I just want to create very Afro-centric stories. I want to change the storytelling technique in Nigeria. Like, we're actually growing, like some 15 years back, we are not where we were, right? So like, it's almost like the way up from here. Like, we'll just keep building, and I want to be part of that change. Like, I want to be the change I want to see more.
There's a young person watching you right now saying that, do you have to get investors to support this job you did? Because people are saying, I also want to make films, but she's young and she's
able to pull it off.
How were you able to do that?
I don't think I was able to pull it off. I feel like the people that were around me were the ones that helped me pull it off, because I kind of skipped the stage of self-discovery from an age of about, I think, 11. My dad got me like a camcorder. I didn't really know how much it cost or like any of those things. And I remember that it was from that I snuck a camera to secondary school, and I was always like taking pictures. And those are the pictures we look at now and we're like, oh, we're so skinny then, and all of those things. But like, my parents were like my #1 champion. Like, they never wanted me to say, oh, you want to be a lawyer. Like, there's no offense trying to be any of those career paths, but most of the time when people go that way and then they end up going like the other route, you've kind of wasted time. So for me, at a very young age, I already knew what I wanted, and I had like the family and like the parental guidance more or less to like boost me in that direction I wanted to go to. So it was almost like I've just been doing this for as long as I can remember.
Awesome.
Yeah, we had a guest.
Talk about your photography, but you've mentioned it already.
Yeah.
You were self-taught,
Yes.
starting from when your father bought you the camcorder, and then you had to. So what advice would you give to young people out there who are still struggling to find what they can do? So I talk to a lot of young people, and they say, I've graduated from school, I have no job, and I'm waiting to be employed. And I'm like, look inwards, what can you do?
Yeah.
How do you get them to, what advice would you give to them, those people who are struggling to find what they can do?
Yeah, I would actually pick on the word you said, look inward, because that's something I tell people a lot. So for my friends, like I would look in my close circle, every single thing we're all doing right now, some 10 years ago, we kind of dabbled into it. So I'll give my friend, for example, she's a brand manager for a brand. And I remember in secondary school, she had like a prefect post, but she didn't want that prefect post. She was said like social, I think social prefect or something like that. And looking to the future, which is right now, right? It's kind of in line with what she's doing. So I feel like everyone should just like kind of take a step back and look. You might study medicine, but you might end up like
being a chef.
Being a chef, exactly. Like just look at what you like, and I feel like go based on that, and don't let money be, like money definitely is important, don't get me wrong, but money shouldn't be like the drive for you to want to do something because you crash at some point. Like you would not get the money at the point you need it. It would definitely come at some other point.
So I wanted to ask you about this drive that many young people have to be social media influencers. Everybody wants to become an influencer. We want to trend. We want to work at home, wear all the fashionable clothes. Like there's this thing where people are just in a hurry to become popular.
Yes.
And I know that you've been in the social media space, but you're not like you're trending or all of that. So how do you balance the desire? Do you have the desire to become popular, trendy influencer? And how do you balance that feeling within yourself? Yeah. And how would you advise those who all they want to do is they want to be popular, they want to trend, and they will do anything to achieve it? How do you balance it?
For me, I would not use the word popular, but everyone in anything you're doing, you want to be recognized for it. So I think I'll pick on the word recognized. I want to be recognized for what I want to do. And the mindset of wanting to be something because you see how it is, you're seeing the finished product of a lot of these influencers. You're not seeing their struggle. Some of these people have been like pushing influencing for like some 10 years, some 5 years, or you think like you just wake up, open a YouTube channel and like blow, for example, like that wouldn't happen. So I feel like people just need to change the mindset of I want to be famous, right? Because fast fame isn't necessarily good fame. Like the slower you take things, the more you're honing your craft and perfecting it. And by the time like it comes, you'll be ready. Because like
for the spotlight.
You wouldn't crash.
In this ambition to be whatever your dreams are, what kind of content would you ethically not do?
Okay.
You know, are you guided by any such?
Yeah, so for me, I'm guided by my religious beliefs, number one. I'm not like the typical, I'm a Christian, for example, but I'm not like the, what's the word?
Holy Spirit.
Yeah, I'm not like casting and biting every time, but like I'm guided by like the religious beliefs I grew up with, and also like my own personal moral beliefs. Like there's certain things my friend does, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I wouldn't do that because I don't want to do that, and I have a very strong sense of self. Like if I'm not going to do anything, you're not going to make me do anything.
What are your thoughts on the silhouette challenge that trended? What's your perspective on that?
Would you shoot one?
No, I didn't.
If you would do one, would you shoot one?
If I wouldn't do one, I wouldn't necessarily shoot one. I would shoot one for like a friend because I take my friends' pictures every single time. Like I'm their personal photographers. But professionally, I don't mind because I've seen them like getting dressed and all of those things. So it wouldn't be like something new. But I wouldn't necessarily collect money or be paid to do something like that, which is what I mentioned. Like most of the time when people ask me to like take their pictures, for example, it's not a thing of pride, but I always ask, what is it for? What are you trying to do? And if it's not something I want to do, I just politely tell them.
So you allow the devil use you to on red light for your friends? Because it's the devil that's only that red light.
Well, I just press the shutter, so I don't think.
No, but I like the fact that you say you're guided by your personal values and your Christian journey.
Yes.
But you know you didn't really answer Nima's questions, because what Nima asked was, like, is there a line you will not cross in your content creation drive?
Yes, definitely. Like, I feel like anything I don't personally like agree with. So, for example, I wouldn't shoot a pornographic scene because I am not the type that believes in something like that. So, like, there are certain things that until I'm put in the situation, I would know, like, okay, I'm sorry, I can't do this. Like, I'm a content creator, but at the same time, I am not for sale type of thing. Like, I
Which
let
do you prefer, photography or filmmaking?
filmmaking.
So photography is just on the side.
It was just my first love. Like, I started with that, and then I was like, okay, I think I could do more type
You seem like
of
a very
things.
exciting person, fun-loving. You know, the kind of guy I just hang out with the club with, and I'm going to enjoy my night. That you're just cool. So do you have friends, have guys, girls? You guys do stuff?
Yes, I mostly hang out with like my friends because I'm the type of person that I don't consider my friends friends. I consider them like cousins or family.
You've been
or
together for a
brothers.
long time.
Exactly. Like, I feel like that friendship word is like very little to compare to like what they actually do for me.
How has the past 3 years been in Canada? You know, many people want to farada.
How is the dating scene in Canada? Are they Nigerians? They're correct
Are they
Nigerians.
men?
Correct men. Correct guys.
I can't believe I'm saying this on national TV, but they are not men.
There are no men in Canada.
Yes, yeah.
Yes, like, so
don't see
the
guys.
romantic sense is a lot different from here, right?
Okay.
Here you could be on the street and a random person will walk
just
up
say
to
hello.
you and feel like they're
Like, I'm very
entitled to your
confident
phone
here.
number. But like in Canada,
Canada.
you see a guy look at you or you're looking at each other, you just walk past the other one.
nobody says
And
anything.
nobody says
Imagine.
anything.
Are you available though?
Yes, I am. I'm not married. Forget the ring.
So you're dating, right?
No,
so
I'm not.
You're not dating right now?
I'm focusing on my work right now.
We have to hook out.
We gotta hook you up. I love your dimples.
I've done my
I love you. I love your
already.
dimples. When I see people, young people with dimples like me, I love it. And don't worry, we'll hook you up.
We will find you somebody.
Correct.
My mom has the Ankara ready already. Like,
Are you serious? No, don't worry. We'll hook you up. We'll hook you up. No doubt about it. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure having you on the show.
you.
We wish you the best. Good luck in
Thank you
what you
so
do.
much. And
we
you
hope
guys
to-
are so lovely. I've seen like
you.
a couple of your episodes and
Thank
like
you.
you're
Thank
doing
you.
really
All right,
amazing.
Thank you.
That's all we can take on the show. Have a fabulous weekend. We'll see you Monday. Bye for now.
Bye.